What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with some more shenanigans for this week. You got Dabo Swinney crashing out in a press conference. You have Diego Pavia saying it's his last season in college. You have our first coach firings before I can even announce who my coach buyout candidate is going to be. And we have made a decision. I regret to inform you. Some fans are not going to like it, but a lot of the fans of this team probably are if he gets bought out. AP poll didn't piss us off as much this week, but still kind of did. Our bets from last week, our bets from this week, and a whole lot more. So stick around. They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you
dogs.
know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan. Welcome in to another edition of Tailgate on the Quad. As always, I'm here with Kieran. I forgot to do it this week, but I've decided, Kieran, I'm going to play the greatest practical joke on you throughout this podcast life. Right before I hit record, I'm just going to tell you important life news and then not address it and just go on with the podcast. I think it'll be hilarious. I didn't do it this week. I'm not going to say what it was on the show. And if I do it next week, it just won't hit the same because it's been a week and you're expecting it. But, new jobs. If I have a kid and it happens to be a Wednesday and like the kid was born earlier in the day and like I'm not needed as much anymore, I'm just going to set up and record from the hospital bedroom and but not tell you.
No, that's great. That'll be so much fun.
I think it'll be hilarious. And also the fact that we are like close friends makes it funnier.
Yes.
Like, if we were either strangers outside of this or something, it wouldn't be as funny, but because these are things you would tell a close friend, it makes it hilarious.
Yeah, no backdrop, or the backdrop rather is the hospital waiting room. Is just we're setting up here in St. Mary's Memorial Hospital.
Babe, get out of the bed. I need to record from here for the bit.
I can unplug this, right? This isn't connected to anything important.
No, you don't need the bed anymore. Stop being dramatic. It's not like you just pushed out a kid. Like, it's fine.
Get over
it. The podcast is more important. It's more work.
Get over it. You've already done the hard part.
For anyone listening to this, do not ever say that to your significant other if they just had your child. Or divorced or left, and no one wants that. They did a lot of work. It was hard work. Your effort was 3 pumps 9 months prior, and then they did the rest of the work. Treat them with love and respect after that.
Yes, we joke.
Yeah, my wife listens to this, so I need to.
This is going to be a great conversation in the morning. I'll tell you that much.
It's fine. She knows how I actually am in our day-to-day lives and knows I wouldn't actually do that. But speaking of treating people to love and respect, Kieran, do you think a coach who has brought your team from the depths of mediocrity would get some respect by the media and his school? Some grace, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dabo Swinney and Clemson is not getting that love and respect that you would expect to receive after doing that. And he may or may not have semi-crashed out in an interview this week with the media. This is from Clemson Sports. I'll drop their after, but
if they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory in case y'all don't know. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. This is a program built to last, always has been, always will be. And I would just say, if you give up on us if you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last straight and you didn't believe in us anyway. So it don't matter. You wasn't all in anyway. If you're all in, you burn the ships, man. There ain't no exit strategy. Like, you're freaking all in. And hey, listen, I mean, if Clemson's tired of winning, they send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. Y'all going to have to deal with me for a while. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just now good enough to be a head coach.
So
I was with him. I was with him the entire time. And then he said, that last part just killed me.
That last part actually, I think, brought me more onto Dabo's side, because outside of I just got good at being a head coach, or I'm just good enough, like, he's not wrong. I mean, he was 4-3 in his first year when he took over at Clemson. Billy Napier was an offense coordinator. Year before, 9-4 under Tommy Bowden. But that's sort of what Clemson was. 9-4, 8-5. Like, not bad. You're not going to laugh at them, but they're playing in the Holiday Bowl every year.
Yeah.
They're playing in the Music City Bowl. They're not playing in anything prestigious. They actually did play the Music City Bowl a second year. But then, year 4, the Orange Bowl. 2012, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. The Orange Bowl again in 13. 14, the Russell Athletic Bowl. Not great. But then, 2015, Orange Bowl and the National Championship game. 2016, Fiesta Bowl, National Championship. 2017, Sugar Bowl. 2018, Cotton Bowl and National Championship. 2019, Fiesta Bowl and National Championship. 2020, Sugar Bowl. 2021, Cheez-It Bowl. 2022, the Orange. They love the Orange Bowl. 2023, the Gator Bowl. And then this past year, the College Football Playoff first round. That is a really good stretch. That's a great stretch for Clemson.
It is.
That's a great stretch for most schools. And yeah, they're 1-2. Last year, in the last couple of years since that 2019 national championship appearance, they have been disappointing. But that's what happens when you win. I think both sides are right here. I think the media is right to go, well, this is what the expectation is that you gave us because of you winning a lot, more than most other coaches we've seen. And Dabo also has a point to go, well, yeah, I won all that for you, so how about you calm down? I'm 55. I can turn this around and figure it out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is one of those situations where, like, it's just a downturn. It's not. Yes, it's kind of like it's really crappy way to start, and you don't want that because, you know, the first couple games definitely have momentum building, like factors with them because it's nice to get off to a couple solid early wins. I know you're playing LSU the first game of the season, but like it's one of those situations where that would be a legitimately difficult game. You know, that's a November, an October, November type of game that they played week 1. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt there. The most recent loss, it's one of those things like, again, I said this last week, I don't think it's time to panic yet. I still don't. I mean, again, it's one of those situations where Dabo has proven himself to be good enough that he can overcome these types of hurdles. And even if they don't do well at all this year, I think that he's a good enough coach to make those things happen. I do think he needs to change his strategy a little bit going forward and start reaching into the portal. You know, I don't think he did it at all, but I think he needs to do it a lot. You know, that philosophy needs to change. But despite that, he's going to recruit good guys. That's a fact. And then whatever comes after that, whatever success comes after that is a product of his ability to coach these guys into winning positions.
Yeah, and I completely agree on the portal thing. I mean, yes, Dabo, you are 55. You are a young guy in coaching, but you need to act like it. You need to be at the forefront of what college football is becoming. You can't go, no, I don't think we should pay players. I'm going to retire if that happens. Oh, no, I don't like the portal. Well, you can't say, I'm 55. I'm not going to the beach, and then act like you're some 90-year-old legendary figure of the sport whose winning days ended in 1984 and not do any of the things you need to be competitive in modern college football. And look, I don't think you need to, and I don't think you can be an ultra competitive team winning national titles by getting your team from the portal every year.
Right.
The successful coaches pick and choose. They fill spots. Oh, our receiver room's weak. Let's get a guy out of the portal. Oh, our offensive line, we're losing 2 guys to the draft. Well, let's try to get one in the draft and see if one of our backups can, or one in the portal, excuse me, and see if our backup from last year can fill that other hole. It should be used as a spot filler, not a long-term strategy to building your entire roster.
Yes.
So I think both are equally bad for your team's long-term success. Actually, no, I think building for the portal is worse for long-term success. But it's about between long-term and immediate success, and Dabo is building for the future. He's always been building for long-term. You need to focus on the immediate now, because as you're building towards that long-term, well, guess what? You have guys who are going to leave in the portal. Just because you won't go in the portal doesn't mean no one else is going to touch your guys. They're not going to go, well, Dabo stands for something, so I'm not going to recruit his guys in the portal. No, they're going to go, well, I want to win, and Clemson has good players, so why don't you come here?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's one of those things that, like, it's the stubbornness of maybe some of the older coaches, and I'm not saying Dabo's old, because 55 for coaching is
No, he'll kill you for saying he's old.
I know that's 55 is very middle of the road for coaching. But with that being said, he does need to change his ways or get left in the past type situation. Whereas somebody who is willing to adapt, 4 years ago is capable of doing both things at once and building that long-term success despite getting situations. Actually, I hate to say, this sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but Penn State is actually doing a really, really good job of that. Our wide receiving core this past offseason was basically depleted by everybody entering the draft, and we went out and got that guy from Syracuse. I'm forgetting his name right now, but that is a type of thing. We kept Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. Our running game is solid. Drew Aller is a great passer. We just didn't have weapons out in the open, and we got that with that transfers in the wide receiving core. And that's the type of thing. So we have a solid ground game that we can rely on, the thing that is setting you up for success. We need an extra piece. This is the guy we want. So that's the kind of duality that Dabo himself needs to adjust to. I think Clemson is more than willing to go do that. I just think it's Dabo that needs to adjust.
Yes, and I think Clemson will pony up the money
to
get some guys. I don't know if Clemson on the surface appears to be a football school, but it does also seem like it's very interested in academics. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they'll give as much as he would like, or you will see other schools give, but I do think they will give plenty.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of background.
Yeah. And with the solid coaching and recruiting, it will even out. But yeah, Dabo, ask for some money and hit the portal hard. Also, Kieran, that Syracuse receiver you talked about went to Penn State. I'm out on him.
Okay.
A name like Trevor, a first name.
Yeah.
Trevor Pena.
Trevor, yes.
Did his mom sneeze or dad sneeze while signing the birth certificate?
Probably.
T-R-E. Oh, I meant to write a V, but it came out as a big, well, whatever. Or the nurse misheard them. Like, yes, I don't know what's going on.
That's
Trevor?
That's more what I think what happened was, like, the nurse is like, oh, would you like name it? It's Trevor. But just a lisp or, like, something got the guy's tongue.
And it could just be a different, like it could be Traber or something, but it reads Trevor. And yes, I'm out on Trevor.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's a very valid reason to be out on a wide receiver. Not his skill set or how many catches he's got in the first 3 games, but the name is killing you.
The name. It's such a dumb name. And look, Trevor, if you hear this and want to come on the show and talk about it, our DMs are open. You can defend your name, your parents, and talk about how we shouldn't care about names. Although, if you've ever listened to this show, you know I almost exclusively judge players based on their names.
Yes.
But we did talk about Dabo being a young spring chicken. And we're going to move on to a player who is not anymore. Diego Pavia, in his 6th year of eligibility, On3 reported that his attorney has set the stage to challenge the NCAA for his 7th year of eligibility. And that's going back to suing for different redshirt rules, allowing guys who don't have FBS experience to have extra eligibility. Diego Pavia responded with a cap emoji and said, "This is my last year." Love that Vandy education. This my last year. You forgot a word in there, Diego. But Kieran, what are your thoughts on potentially these new changes that Diego Pavia is suing for, but also the fact that Diego Pavia has gotten over his fear of Indeed and LinkedIn?
I'm not really sure about the whole like suing things and whatever. I'm not gonna comment too much on that. I get why. I actually don't get why he's suing. Like, why do we think he is suing? Or is there a background reason other than the fact that this is his last year?
Well, I think part of it is some of these guys were not great coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And coming out into college, and they had to go lower level, and then they developed, and now they feel kind of screwed out of years of eligibility just because they weren't good in high school or they weren't tall enough or something. But I think it's also Diego Pavia, let's be honest, is probably a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
In next year's draft. And his pay is not nearly going to be as good as I think his NIL evaluation from what I saw earlier is like $1.8 million. He's not making that on his rookie contract. So an extra year in college, and maybe you'll move up to the 3rd round. You'll get an extra couple $1 million. And then you can go to the draft and live off of that $100,000 signing bonus.
Yeah. I will say this, though, about his particular situation is that it is weird that he's suing when Vanderbilt is doing so well. I'm not talking about him necessarily because his current stats are 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and an 82.4 QBR rating, which isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not like absolute standout quality quarterbacking. But Vanderbilt is 3-0, and it's one of those situations where he did say at the beginning of the season, it's natty or bust. And from what I've seen, it's pretty good so far. I mean, granted, they're playing Charleston South, Virginia Tech, who just fired a coach, and South Carolina, which was frankly a shocking win at 31-7. But it's not all him. So it's one of those things where it's like his stock, as of right this instant second, has not been higher at any point in his earlier career. So there's no reason to be trying to challenge for an extra season. So it's a delicate game that he needs to play between eligibility and then guaranteed future contracts, which are probably on the long term more lucrative than whatever NIL deal he can scrape out.
Yeah, I think part of it is he also just wants the option. He wants to keep his options open. I also have done a complete 180 on the guys who have been in the league for too long, or in college for, as we put earlier, too long. But my opinion on that has completely changed because I know if I were a D1 athlete making $1 million, $2 million, and I had already graduated, like Justin Herbert graduated early when he was at Oregon and stayed another year.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, I take like one class and then I go to practice and then I hang out and that's it. Add a couple $1 million onto that, you would have to drag me off campus.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
And not necessarily at a school like Vanderbilt because it's in Nashville and there's a lot of other stuff to do, but in a college town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you're telling me is I could get a couple $1 million. I could maybe work towards a master's, maybe just hang out 24/7 and go to practice not occasionally. You do have to practice and work hard, but go to practice and play on Saturdays and then just hang out again during the day. And you're a god on these campuses.
It's an awkward situation. Well, it's a great situation to be in if you're there, but it's an awkward one to deal with if you're an administrative person.
Yeah, maybe, but It's fine. So yeah, I'm completely out on it. Diego, you secure that NIL bag and sue for as many years of eligibility as you could possibly ever want. But moving on to Kieran already alluded to one of it. We already have had our first coach firings of the year. You have Virginia Tech and UCLA firing their coaches. Virginia Tech firing Brent Pry and UCLA firing, I forget his name already. That's not great. Yeah, I know Tim Skipper's the interim. Deshaun Foster. Thank you, Bing. I hate how that defaults Bing. I need to change that. But disappointing starts of the year for both of these guys. Kieran, do you think they pulled the plug too soon, or do you think they're sort of just it was probably coming? Probably should have seen it coming.
UCLA, I think the plug was pulled at the right time. Virginia Tech, I'm a little bit more apprehensive about saying whether it was too early or not. It's one of those situations where like we didn't even see this coming because we've been talking about like who's on the hot seat already at week 3, about like Billy Napier and like Dabo, bad-mouthing him last week or whatever. And it's one of those things like we really weren't looking at these other schools that definitely need a win for the first part. I would say with UCLA, the whole Iamaleava, I don't want to say controversy because that brings up probably negative connotations, but like the whole crapshoot around that transfer probably hasn't helped the situation by going 0-3 and not having a stellar start to the season. I don't know whether that's Foster's responsibility immediately. It is the players ultimately at the end of the day who are performing poorly. But to that end, you're still early in the season. Like there's 3 more months to turn your program around. I always hesitate firing coaches this early because genuinely you have these ups and downs of coaches throughout the years. I don't think it's fair on them to be the ones essentially blacklisted and fired right off the get-go. So yeah, it's tough. I don't know what happens in the background, so I can't say one way or the other, but I'm kind of shocked that they let him go that early, both of them.
I'm so I actually think the opposite of you. I think Foster, I think they should have given him a little more leeway. I mean, look, Chip Kelly left, you went 8-5 with him in the Pac-12. Then you go to the Big Ten, a much better conference. Deshaun Foster, first season, 5-7. Not great, not terrible. And then this year starts 0-3 with losses to Utah, at UNLV, and New Mexico. All not bad teams.
No,
by most metrics. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Then Brent Pry, he is in year 3. I do say 4 years generally, but no, wait, this is actually year 4. This was year 4.
Oh, okay.
3-8, 7-6, 6-7, 0-3 at Virginia Tech. And that loss this past weekend to Old Dominion, obviously it was the nail in the coffin because they fired him, but was really the nail in the coffin, losing 45-26 to Old Dominion. You can't do that. That's inexcusable as Virginia Tech's head coach. So I think that one is more justified than the Deshaun Foster one.
Yeah, I agree with you then.
Who do you think is going to replace any coaching hot takes or any coaches watch lists you want to see for UCLA or Virginia Tech rather, or either?
Geez, I don't know if anything off the top of my head who could replace them. Is Jimbo Fisher still looking for a job?
He is.
He can go to Virginia Tech. That would be fun, actually. That would be fun, actually. If Jimbo Fisher went to Virginia Tech, that would be actually insane. Because it's like, I would love to see if he could build that program up so much that they're arguably competitive and not necessarily in the college football playoff, because I think it would take a long time to get there, but like in the rankings at the minimum.
I have a different player in mind, or person in mind, rather,
Okay.
who I would like to see at Virginia Tech.
Trent Dilfer.
I don't want to see Trent Dilfer coach the European League. I hate that, man. They're 3-0, which I hate even more.
Yeah,
But
it's even worse.
he's an alumnus of the Virginia Tech, Kieran. He's a famous alumnus. He did wonders there. Went to Atlanta, did great. Played for the Eagles for a bit. Did some things in between Atlanta and Philly. I don't know what. No one really knows for sure. But bring Mike Vick home to Blacksburg. He's 1-2 at Norfolk State. He lost to Rutgers 60-10. I don't care. Bring him to Virginia Tech and just see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, you can't, you've pretty much hit the bottom of the barrel, so why not?
It'd be awesome. Also, I'm looking at head coaching, UCLA coaching candidates on USA Today, and some of these just aren't happening.
What do they say?
Tony White, Florida State defensive coordinator, it's a move up most likely. So he was considered for the UCLA job in 2024, but they gave it to Foster. Will Stein, Oregon's offensive coordinator. Under Dan Lanning makes sense. David Shaw, passing game coordinator for the Lions. All these are move ups. Jason Eck, New Mexico head coach. Again, a move up. In Eric Bieniemy, running back coach for the Chicago Bears. First off, Eric Bieniemy has not really succeeded anywhere he's gone after leaving the Chiefs, and he left. He was there last year, and he left. So I don't know if he would want to come back. And then Dan Mullen. There's more, but Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen just get picked up by UNLV? Literally last year.
I think Dan Mullen, if he's going to go somewhere, he's going to go somewhere better, and he's going to wait until something better comes. I do think, based on success, UNLV and UCLA are on par with each other.
Yes.
PJ Fleck, Minnesota, not happening.
No, absolutely not. PJ Fleck is not leaving. You'll have to drag PJ Fleck out of Minnesota.
And even then, his corpse might be on the sidelines for a couple games.
Yeah, seriously.
I just assume he's going to die there. Barry Odom, Purdue, first year there. I don't think he's going to leave for UCLA. UCLA is not an appealing job whatsoever. They don't care about football. It's California. There's so many other things to do. Virginia Tech does care about football.
Very much so.
That's really the only thing there is to do in Blacksburg. So it'll be interesting. We'll get into, Kieran, my coaching buyout candidate that I have zeroed in on for this year.
Okay, perfect.
But for that'll be at the end of the show. These two firings have opened up a transfer window for both schools, and neither school has played more than 4 games. So these players can redshirt if they transfer to a new school without losing a year of eligibility. Nico Iamaleava has the chance to do the funniest thing imaginable.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
I don't think he wants to be in UCLA, but I don't think anyone else will take him at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever wanted to be at UCLA. It was always just an NIL dick measuring contest with Josh Heupel. And then when Heupel was like, all right, go to one of these other schools that are giving you these massive offers, him and his dad went, oh, shit, we don't have any other offers.
Yeah. Called his bluff.
Because they said they used the cover like, oh, well, your receivers aren't good. Your coaching's not great. Your offensive line's not good. Like, we can't succeed here. And then they're like, all right, go take one of these other offers from this great mystery school that's so good. And they're like, shit. UCLA with their great receivers, great offensive line, and clearly great coaching.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel bad for athletes when their parents get involved because, like, obviously the dad's looking out for, the kid's best interest, but at the same time, there can be a lot of like background manipulation and things like that. I just feel awful. I mean, it could happen to anybody, but I'm just saying it sucks to see.
Yeah, I don't know if his dad was looking out for his best interest there.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm saying that's exactly the point. Like, I'm giving his dad the benefit of the doubt about looking after his best interests, but I'm kind of at the same time going, oh, that's not like you really want to go to UCLA after leaving Tennessee, which arguably has a shot at pushing for a national championship, and go to UCLA where there's nothing.
They have beaches.
Oh, congratulations. Yes, I forgot that football is played on sand.
Have you never seen Top Gun Maverick, they played football in the sand.
Yes, yeah. Touch football on the sand. I'm talking about hard-hitting pads, boy.
It's UCLA. They're not hitting anyone hard.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
with the Nico situation, I think best case scenario,
Mhm.
the dad is trying to live vicariously through his son.
Yes.
Worst case scenario, he views his son as an investment and his retirement account.
Yes.
I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you.
Probably.
But I need Nico to transfer. That'd be so funny. If he transfers, where do you want to see him go? Where would be the funniest destination for Nico to go to?
Oh, the funniest destination is back to Tennessee. The second funniest one would be like, say, to Florida or something like that. Because for God's sakes, anything is better than what's going on in Florida right now.
That's true. I think I'm trying to think something that'd be Idaho. Just send him to Idaho. That'd be hilarious.
No. Better. Purdue. Put him under Barry Odom and see what he can do. You thought you thought UCLA with its sunshine and mild weather is nice. Here's a Big Ten atmosphere for you. Freezing cold in Lafayette, wherever Lafayette, and just
is it West
Lafayette? Yeah,
Indiana?
sorry, West Lafayette, and just freeze your ass off.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you thought Tennessee was bad. Welcome to Indiana.
I don't know if they've updated the campus at Knoxville. I hope they have, because when I went there, my God, they built everything in the 70s and then didn't touch it.
Yeah.
No, nothing was falling apart that I saw, but they did not update it at all. It was gross. But Kieran, moving on to the AP poll, where neither of these teams that we just talked about are going to be for a long, 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 long time. First up, others receiving votes: BYU 94, South Florida 83, South Carolina 82, Miss State 69, nice, TCU 67, Arizona State 57, Tulane 33, Louisville 25, Nebraska 9, Baylor 6, along with Clemson, SMU, and NC State at 4, UNLV with 2, and Navy at 1. Kieran, thoughts on the others receiving votes?
I really don't want to root for UNLV, but
it's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard. It's so hard because they were so good to me last year. Pains me. But yeah, others receiving votes. Tulane looking really good this year. I can definitely see them making it into the top 25 at some point this year if they keep going. South Florida definitely deserves to be in there. South Carolina, rough against who are they playing? Vanderbilt. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, my own brain. But yeah, I think makes sense for all those other schools.
Yeah, I think South Florida dropping them fully out after Notre Dame is currently still ranked is a choice. I know they got blown up by Miami, but it is what it is. I like seeing Mississippi State ranked high, not ranked, but in the others receiving votes, receiving a fair amount of votes. I'm shocked Tulane's not already ranked. They, as you said, they will be by the end of the year. And yeah, also, Kieran, that the not rooting for your mid team was a rule you made. You can still root for them.
No, I can't. I have to root against them. It makes it more fun and more hurtful. That's what.
Okay, that's see, for you it makes it more fun and more hurtful. For me, not rooting for Kent State anymore just makes it more fun.
No. Here's the thing: if your team does crap, you don't have to root against them or do anything. It's only if they do well.
Okay, fair. Yeah. So I can still root for UMass that next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that.
I need to start picking worse mid teams. I put the six win threshold in there, but now I'm regretting it.
See, Karen, I wish I picked Bowling Green.
Oh, that would have been great. Well, you can pick them next year.
Yeah, I got to see where Pudge's owner when he graduates.
Oh yeah, good point. All right.
That'd be why. I love Pudge.
Yes.
All right.
Loves Pudge. Go.
Moving on to the rankings, the actual rankings. 25 USC popping in there at 3-0. Notre Dame dropping 16 spots to 0-2. I think I saw this is the first time an 0-2 team has been ranked since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that big marketability. Mizzou moving up 2 spots to number 23. Auburn moving up 2 spots, 22. Michigan up 2 to 21. And I think, Vandy, this is them being ranked at 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kieran, thoughts on the bottom 5?
Notre Dame is not far enough down. They are not low enough. They shouldn't have received a single vote.
You know what I'm excited for?
What? When they lose to Purdue?
No, when they beat up on Purdue this weekend and somehow go back to like number 15.
Yeah, that would be the worst thing. No, I know my boy, Barry Odom, is going to demolish Notre Dame.
Barry Odom, finish the job.
Take him out. Take him out.
I think this stretch of the AP poll, because I was asking the question before, like, do I hate Marcus or do I like Marcus Freeman more than I hate Notre Dame? No, I don't. I hope Marcus Freeman is happy and healthy in his day-to-day life and doesn't send kids up scissor lifts and hurricane force winds. But I still hate Notre Dame with every fiber of my being, except one tiny fiber for their head coach. Next up, Indiana at number 19, moving up 3 spots. Georgia Tech becoming ranked. No, they were, becoming ranked at 18. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech moving up 4 spots to number 17. And Utah moving up 4 spots to number 16. Shout out Georgia Tech.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out Georgia Tech. Huge win.
What Brent Key has done at Georgia Tech and Clark Lee, and I know we just passed over Vanderbilt. Those schools were jokes for most of our lives. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're making them relevant in a seemingly short amount of time is incredible.
It's the best thing ever.
I don't want to say like college football is good when Vandy and Georgia Tech are good, but it makes college football more fun.
No, it's more fun when the teams that have been downtrodden within their conferences for so long are the sudden upstarts that are kind of turning over the apple cart sort of situation, because it's that type of momentum building games that are incredibly important, not just to the schools themselves, but for the college football scene as a whole. Like Georgia Tech and Vandy going 3-0 and beating both ranked, because Clemson was ranked last week, weren't they?
Yeah.
So beating a ranked school like that is just enormous. To do that as the underdog within your conference is even better. And then to do that, and now you have all this momentum going into the kind of still the beginning of the season, but kind of towards the middle of the season, is incredible, just pure motivation for these kids. And it makes every decision of who to rank ahead of each other that much harder.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. I know we say like we're just gonna do the teams that move, but early in the season there's so much movement. We're just gonna go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Later in the season we will just do the movers. At number 15.
All right, man. Just say what you've been saying, man. Why do you hate Tennessee?
Man, I hate Tennessee because first of all,
At number 14, Alabama moving up 5 spots after beating Wisconsin. Number 13, Ole Miss moving up 4 spots. Number 12, Iowa State moving up 2 spots. And at number 11, Oklahoma also moving up 2 spots. I have no thoughts. I still think Alabama, I actually think they're appropriately ranked.
Yes, I agree.
For the first time all season. I think
it's week 4. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right, well, Kieran, this poll has been atrocious this year.
Yeah, it has.
Atrocious.
Oh,
So we'll give them credit where credit is due. They did put Alabama in the right spot. But yeah, no, that's my only thought there.
Yeah, it's all good.
Do you have any other thoughts?
Nope. Makes
Okay. Oh, you're saying the poll, it's all good, like so far, or that?
Yeah. The between 11 and 15 is fine. It's good where it is. I couldn't foresee any changes.
It's very hard to have like concrete thoughts on each individual team where they move because there's so much moving. As people who don't have to vote in the poll, if I had to vote in the poll, I guarantee you I would have a thought on every single team here.
Yes.
Next up, Texas A&M at number 6, Illinois at number 9. You'll love to see the Fighting Illini up in the top 10 still. Texas moving down 1 spot to number 8. Florida State moving up 3 spots to 7. Oregon moving down 2 spots to number 6. And yeah, I'm good with this still.
Yeah. I will say one thing. This game this weekend, Illinois versus Indiana, is going to be a slugfest. I cannot wait for this game. It is going to be so much fun to watch because these are 2 teams in the Big Ten that have had pretty crap reputations. And now we have Kurt Signetti, who we gave a lot of flack to in the beginning of the season for all of his comments about the SEC and the 8-game versus 9-game conference schedules and yada, yada, yada. And then Kev's favorite coach, Brett Bielema, go duke it out. And this is, I know you're voting for Illinois, and just for the sake of argument, I'm going to vote for Indiana this weekend for them to win, just to have a little bit of animosity on this podcast, because it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Karen, you said it's going to be a slog. It's going to be a fist fight basically on the field. And when it comes down to it, I would trust Brett Bielema on my side in a fist fight over almost any other coach in the country. So I'm rolling with the Illini.
Yeah, let's go. This is going to be a great game.
Moving on to the top 5, Georgia moving up 1 spot to number 5, Miami moving up 1 spot to number 4, LSU at 3, Penn State at 2, and Ohio State at 1. Makes sense. Miami's ranked at 4, moving up 1. They did dominate a team that was a very good team in USF. I think bouncing them out entirely, it was very lopsided, but I think not giving them that pity 25 to 22 range, it isn't fair and doesn't do justice to how good they are and how good they will be. They're going to be back in the top 25 very quickly. Georgia moving up 1 after beating Tennessee makes sense, and there's just no justification for moving Ohio State, Penn State, or LSU anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You have any thoughts?
Nope. It speaks for itself.
That's fair. I did not tell you this. So my wife was listening to the podcast today because she was away last week, couldn't watch it. And she said, you guys complain about the AP poll a lot. You should do your own poll. So, Kata, we might be doing our own poll. I don't know if we'll cover it on the show because that will take up about half an hour to go through both polls. But
we'll post it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a graphic and we'll do that. I'll send you a spreadsheet. We'll each do it and I'll just aggregate the 2 and go from there.
All right. That works.
All right. So the tailgate poll will be coming out at some point in the next, probably this week, and then
we won't have
for next week,
and we won't have Notre Dame ranked at all because
they could go on a run.
I'm just gonna put Notre Dame at number 1 just to watch Kev absolutely crash out,
and then they're gonna end up at like number 24 because all of them ranked at the bottom of the FBS.
they were 2 solid losses, Kev.
I don't care. They're 0-2.
Kidding. Oh.
All right, Kieran. Going through the poll. Let's go through the panic meter once again. We're going to talk about teams. Is it time for them to panic? And I promise we're going to stop doing this as the season goes on. Because we can't say like, oh, they should be panicking if they're 6-2 or if they're 2-6. Like they'll have the answer. But first up, Kieran, Notre Dame starting out 0-2 after their loss to Texas A&M this past weekend. Is it time for the Fighting Irish to panic?
As much as I bet the answer should be yes, I'm still going to say no. I think that, yes, it's such a downturn from last season, but we've seen this before with Notre Dame that they'll lose 2 games. I don't want to say early in the season, but they'll lose 2 games at some point in the season. Everyone's like, oh, that their playoff hopes are lost. I don't think it's time to panic. I 100% can see them winning out the rest of their games, not because it's an easy schedule, just because that's what Notre Dame has historically done. So I'm going to go with don't panic yet. You're probably fine.
That's fair. I do say all the time how Notre Dame is very overranked early season.
Yeah.
And then they lose and you're like, well, why are they still ranked? And then by the end of the year, you look at it, they're like 12, 13. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. So I would say no, but I hate Notre Dame. So yes, panic, fire Marcus Freeman, let him go somewhere else where he'll be appreciated and just keep doing what you're doing. Clemson, we already sort of covered early in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You said not yet. I kind of agreed with you. Texas, Kieran, I know they won, but looked very shaky in that game, and Arch Manning isn't looking great. Is it time for Texas to panic?
Who's their backup? Remind me.
Someone.
I would say the panic wouldn't be with Texas and Sark like themselves. I would say it's more with Arch Manning and him not crumbling under pressure, frankly. Yes, they won, but it looked poor. Like, it looked like a poor performance from Arch Manning. I would say give him the benefit of the doubt versus Sam Houston. Let him play. Let him get comfortable. And then you can start to see whether or not he can compete at this level. And if not, put in whoever next man up type situation. Maybe give him a little pressure and say, like, look, this is we're trying to win, right? You're preventing us from winning. And I think that might either it'll crush his spirit and he won't come back, or it will, the strongest iron is forged in the hottest fires type situation. Like, give him something to strive for.
That's fair. There is some discussion if Arch is hurt or not. So I give a firm answer on that as well. If he's dealing with something, like, don't say what it is, but like, oh yeah, we're all a little banged up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, so Arch is hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's time to panic yet. See how it goes. This is not the same quarterback we saw last year in limited stretches. So give it time. Finally, on the panic meter for this week, Kieran, Colorado. They are, after Travis Hunter and Shadur went to the NFL. They are 1-2 with losses to Georgia Tech and Houston, with a big win by 24 points to Delaware. It's not time to panic yet. This weekend will tell us how Colorado does against Wyoming this weekend, and how Houston do against Oregon State will tell us. If Houston goes out there and struggles against Oregon State, then yeah, Colorado should probably panic losing to this team by 16 points. If Colorado goes out and dominates Wyoming, then okay, maybe it was just early season jitters. You're trying to get used to the post-Shador era. I mean, you retired his jersey, for Christ's sake. Clearly, he was a great player who won you a lot of games. So not quite time to panic, in my opinion, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be there's a very short leash for Deion Sanders here, because it's one of the situations where there was so much hype and build up around the whole Shador era that it was like they almost had nothing in reserve when the inevitable happened of him going into the NFL. So they lost, Travis Hunter as well, who was a star on both sides of the ball. And that certainly helped. But it's one of those things that there was so much build up to that specific point that there is no backup plan. there needs to be a fresh influx of talent, either from recruitment or the portal or something to stabilize Colorado rather than, propel them forward necessarily.
Yeah, no, it's very fair. All right. There's your panic meter. Again, I promise we're going to stop doing that as the season kind of calms down. Moving on to our week 3 bets. For those who did not see last week, we did go 6-6, 9-9, 9 for 9 if you go by the belly up picks for the college football slate made by our experts. If you want to see what those picks are, go to follow Belly Up Sports on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Just type Belly Up Sports, you will find it. We did not do well this week, Karen.
At least we didn't go 0-6.
That's true. That is very true. We went 2 for 6. Kieran had the West Virginia money line, which he got right. He had UConn -10 against Delaware, which he got wrong. And NC State for field goal attempt on their first drive, which was wrong. They punted. Money line, I had Georgia, which was right. I had USF plus 17.5, which was wrong. And I had Oregon over 42.5 versus Northwestern, which was also wrong. If you go by the Belly Up Sports, I just said that really weird. By the Belly Up Sports picks, we went 5 for 9, Kieran, because I picked Georgia, Miami, and Texas A&M last week, and that was the right pick. So we're still above 500 as a show.
Well, that's good. I feel better.
Yeah. Me actually taking the Belly Ups picks a little more seriously than this is really carrying us. Not more seriously, but a little more research into that, because we can't have the only college football centered show on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network not do well in this.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of true. But a lot of our bets are just like stupid ones. Like we, at least to start the season, like I've just been throwing crap in the air. But I will say for that West Virginia one against Pitt, that was such a clutch call by me. I just want everyone to respect that. My mid team of this year, West Virginia, absolutely showing up and showing out in OT with a touchdown. I look like a genius, at least for that one.
So, Kieran, I said it last week or a couple weeks ago. I'm good luck for teams after I stop rooting for them. I rooted for Kent State last year. They didn't win a game. I stopped rooting for them. They won a game, which is saying a lot. I started rooting for UMass, and brother, UMass football has never looked worse. They are only so bad.
Not only are they historically trash, but this year they're particularly bad.
They're so bad. They need to go back. Not even FCS, like D2 is really where they belong. They're that bad. And you're the opposite, Kieran. You start rooting for a team, and they're suddenly good.
Yeah, I do strangely have that effect, and this is kind of a separate thing that I've noticed is obviously we both grew up in Boston. I won't say specifics, but we grew up near supporting the New England Patriots and all the Boston teams. And for all intents and purposes, every single major sports team that we had there have won a championship. And then I moved to Philadelphia. In and around Philadelphia. And now all the Philadelphia teams are doing quite well, minus the Sixers and the Flyers. But I'll take baseball and football at the very least. And then UNLV...
Move back.
Yeah, I know. I seriously do. And then UNLV started supporting them, did super well. And now we had a little hiccup mid-season. I say we, West Virginia, because now they're my team, apparently. But we had a little hiccup week 2, but we're back on track by beating an arguably really good team in Pitt, the backyard brawl. So, hey, things are looking up.
Kieran, if you're such good luck for teams, then what happened with Penn State last 20 years?
All of the negativity went to them.
That's fair. That's fair. You have to dump it out somewhere.
Yeah. It's that and Tottenham Hotspur. I have to suffer at some point. So those are my suffering teams.
Penn State really is the Tottenham of college football, though.
Oh, they so are. They're the same color scheme and everything.
Why would you subject yourself to that twice?
It's the hope that kills you. That's what. There's always hope, and it crushes you.
That's your problem.
I know, but it's fun.
My God, Kieran, make better life choices. See, at least when I cared remotely about the Prem, I rooted for Brentford, where there were zero expectations.
Yeah, well, hey, they're doing decent now, so.
True. All right. Let's see if we can get back on track, Kieran, with this week's best. Also, if you like talking soccer real quick, go check out Insert Name FC on the Belly of Sports podcast network. Hector's great. It's a great show and it's a great time. But Kieran, before we get into this week's bets, do you have a weather report for us?
I do have a weather report for you. Basically, anywhere in the South is going to get rained out. So think North Carolina versus UCF. There is a 53% chance of rain basically the whole day. You're definitely going to get some slippery conditions, possibly a thunderstorm. We'll see about that later. Florida versus Kent State. Kent State is playing Florida State in Florida. So that's poor weather. You're definitely going to get some rain, a little bit more temperature, kind of humidity related. Same thing. Tulane's playing Ole Miss. Now, granted, they're both from the South. They should be used to that sort of weather, but it's mostly going to be temperature, humidity, upwards of 90 degrees. So it's going to get hot. Damn. Again, more rain / temperature in the South. Georgia Temple's playing Georgia Tech. Mississippi's playing Northern Illinois, all in the South. Florida International is going to get dumped on with rain. They're playing Delaware. That is going to be basically the whole day. They're getting rain. So if you're making any bets and you're thinking, should I go pass or run for my prop bets? Go run if it's anywhere in the South. Passing will not help you.
That's fair. And there is Kieran's weather report. I'm looking at this site that you sent me, and I'm not going to name names because I don't, they're not a sponsor. So we're not going to give them free advertising. But all right, cool.
Well, thank you for your analysis, or the data, I should say.
Thank you, unnamed site. And Kieran, thank you for giving that to the people. But moving on to our week 4 bets. Kieran, what is your money line pick?
My money line pick is going to be TCU over SMU at -265.
Good pick. I don't hate it. I had 2 in case you picked one of them, but you didn't. So we're going to go with Illinois over Indiana at +195.
Illinois, Indiana. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a good game.
I don't know why Indiana is favored. But
yeah, that doesn't make... Are they playing it in Indiana? I think so. Right?
I think so.
Yeah, they're playing at Indiana. That's probably why they're favored.
Yeah, that's still so weird. Whatever, free money. My spread, I have Tulane +13.5 versus Ole Miss this weekend. As I drop my phone, Kieran, what's your spread?
So this is going to be Trent Dilfer hate week, and I am going to go Tennessee -38.5 on the spread. They're playing UAB.
Perfect. Love it. And I hate Trent Dilfer with every fiber. Did you know he's the wins leader for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
The win leader?
He has the most wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's wild.
That's what I saw on social media today. Let's just confirm. If it is, Trent Dilfer, he has 38. And that's the most wins any Bucs quarterback has gotten.
That's nuts.
A cool 500 with, they're actually less than 500, 38 and 41 with a 70-80 touchdown to interception ratio. 164.2 yards per game. So I can't wait till Baker Mayfield takes that spot from him, which he most likely will do. Tom Brady did not play enough. He only played 50 games, won 32 of them. Also, or if Jameis comes back to Tampa, if Baker goes down and gets another 16, 17 wins, that'd be cool. I hate Trent Dilfer so much. Kieran, what is your miscellaneous pick for this week?
So I have to say quick anecdote about this. I was looking around at the random picks that you can make bets on, and I was like, what should I pick? Should I make it defensive, offensive, passing, touchdowns, kick, whatever? And I stumbled upon Michigan at Nebraska. And the over-under for number of total touchdowns scored is 5.5. However, both betting lines are at minus 115. So it's equally likely that they'll go over 5.5 or under 5.5. And given that it's two Big Ten teams, I'm going with the under. Definitely an under type situation.
That's fair. What did you say the odds were on that again?
Minus 115 each.
Oh, by Kieran's video.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Am I here?
You're here. I can hear you.
Okay, hang on.
Did you hit the little? I don't want to have to edit this. All right. While Kieran's figuring that out, still audio only, Kieran.
Okay.
There's a black box. Cool. We have some representation for Kieran. I'll just put a little stick figure of an Irishman over you. For my miscellaneous, I have John Mateer over 270 passing yards and over 2 touchdowns. There you are. Versus Oklahoma, I had to put that into an odds calculator, and I got plus 388 for that. And I know that kind of spits in the face of your weather report, Kieran, and for that, I apologize.
Oh, don't.
But Auburn football has had a good start to the year. They have beaten up on Baylor. They've beaten up on Ball State, and they've beaten up on South Alabama. Baylor, the only real team they've faced, that defense gave up 419 yards and 3 touchdowns to Sawyer Robertson. John Mateer is on a tear. He is a very good quarterback. I expect him to surpass those numbers, get that 270 and 3 or more than 2 touchdowns.
All right.
So there's your week 4 bets. Let's hope we did better than last week. Karen, we're nearing the end of the show, and now it's time for our mid-team reports. Kieran, give us a breakdown of Backyard Brawl.
Well, it was a barn burner. It was a great match. If you actually watched it, it was so much fun. Both teams started out slow, only a field goal and a touchdown in the second quarter to Pitt and West Virginia, respectively. Things started heating up after halftime. Pitt went got 11 points, and West Virginia got another touchdown with the conversion, of course. Both teams at this point are tied at the end of the fourth quarter, each scoring 10 points there. And then in OT, West Virginia pulls out a dub with a touchdown. And it's one of those win probability things. And it just the last few seconds of OT, it's just spikes to West Virginia. So it's pretty funny.
You love to see it, Karen. I'm happy for you for all of the success your quote unquote mid teams are having.
It's great. It's wonderful.
I'm doing some quick research on my mid team, Kieran, because UMass this weekend was pain. They lost 47-7 to Iowa. Iowa, Kieran. I didn't think Iowa could score 47 points. That is the most points they have scored, Kieran. Can you guess the last time they scored more than 47 points?
Was it before Kirk Ferentz was alive?
No.
Not quite.
Was very much. He was the coach of the team with a shocking offensive coordinator.
A son?
His son was the offensive coordinator.
There you go.
It's shocking that they scored more than 12 points with him. It was week 5 of the 2021 season against Maryland where they scored 51 points.
There you go.
Some more numbers for that. Absolute depressing game. They made a quarterback change. I watched. It was awful. AJ Hairston went 4 for 8 for 56 yards. Grant Jordan went 9 for 14 for 37 yards. No touchdowns to be found between all of them. 28 yards was their leading rusher with Rocco Griffin at 2.8 yards per carry. It was just bad. One receiver had more than 5 yards. Jaquan Gibson, 5 catches for 37 yards. And their defense did a whole lot of nothing. 2 sacks on the day, 3 TFLs. Meanwhile, their quarterbacks were sacked 5 times with 11 TFLs for the Iowa defense. No passes defended. Nothing to speak for. They gave up a punt return touchdown. This team is bad. 11 points were scored by kickers, Kieran. If they did not score a single touchdown, Iowa still would have won the game.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is from 5 extra points. So if they didn't score a touchdown, they wouldn't have had the extra points, but they would have just kicked field goals, and then they still would have won the game. If you add a field goal made to bring it Drew Stevens to 100% completion percentage on kicks, they would have won the game. Iowa would have beaten UMass by 2 points. Mark Gronkowski, 16 for 24, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they limited an explosive passing day, but it did not matter if they scored 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. UMass was losing that game, as they're going to lose every game the rest of the year, Kieran. This team is terrible. I don't see a win, although everyone, October 11th, it's the Kevin Bowl. The UMass Minutemen are taking on the Kent State Golden Flashes.
There you go.
And they're high. I believe this is the highest win percentage Kent State has had, according to ESPN Analytics, in a long time. 61.7% against the Minutemen at Dick's Stadium in Kent. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be gross. It's going to be borderline unwatchable, but I'm going to love every second of it.
I wonder if West Virginia plays UNLV. I mean, probably not. No, they don't. But that would have been fun.
That would have been fun, but instead, Karen, you'll just have to live vicariously through me and watch Kent State and UMass try to figure out this game of football.
My fiance is going to watch the game with, I'm going to be watching the game. She's going to be like, these are the 2 worst teams I've ever seen play each other. Why are you watching this?
See, that's the nice part. My wife is going to be like, you're mid-teens.
Yeah.
But Kieran,
yes,
it's time. I've made a decision about my coach.
Okay, who is
who
it?
we're going to track the buyout of. A man who had high hopes going to this school when he was hired back in 2023. He had a a pretty successful career at this Group of 5 school. He was hired by this Big Ten school to try and get them to the promised land, get them back to relevance. And it has gone downhill every year since then. 2022, he went 1-0, just coached the bowl game, which was a weird choice to leave your last school and then go coach your new school's bowl game. Then he went 7-6 in 2023, losing the ReliaQuest Bowl. 2024 goes 5-7. He did start this year 2-1. But he just had an embarrassing loss to a team who I said shouldn't have even been ranked a couple of weeks ago. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be tracking the buyout of none other than Luke Fickell this year, who has a $25 million buyout. $25 million if he is fired at the end of the year, because his contract stipulates he will be owed 80% of what's remaining on his initial deal, which will have 4 years left and approximately $31.5 million on the contract he signed in November of 2022. 7 years is an absurd contract to give this man. So $25 million buyout. So we're going to calculate some stuff he could buy as the season goes on. I did not do this yet. I just made the decision right before I hit record. So shout out Luke Fickell. We're going to tell you some really fun stuff you can buy with that $25 million. And brother, you're going to love it. Any thoughts, Karen?
No, I think that's a pretty good one to pick. I mean, it makes the most sense. He's probably the biggest contract flop recently. Apart from Billy Napier.
Disappointing
Yeah.
to say. Yeah, and Billy Napier. So Dabo, everyone's talking about should they move on. Billy Napier, everyone's saying they should just fire his ass. UAB, Trent Dilfer, his buyout's just not nearly funny enough. It would be very limited. It's only like $3 million, only $3 million. But I couldn't have as much fun with it. So we're gonna go with Billy Napier and
Luke Fickell.
we're gonna do Luke Fickell. I'm sorry.
I was like, hold on a second. You're just shifting gears immediately.
Yeah, no, it is. It is going to be Luke Fickell. I want to see how much a badger costs, but I don't trust exoticanimalsforsale.net.
Don't do that.
I don't trust it. Instead, we're going to trust the Western Montana Fur Center and see how much a freshly tanned badger hide costs with a price of $125 to $35. Kieran, we'll do some quick maths. That's not right. He could buy 312,500 freshly tanned badger hides, a variety of grades and sizes, with the average. If you want to, Luke, please call 406-563-7926 or email westernmontanafur@gmail.com for inquiries on availability. So yeah, there you go, Luke. You can get a badger or badger hide. Or if you're a braver man than me, go to exoticpetsforsale.net.
Yeah.
And see how much a real badger costs. Apparently they're illegal, so that is another reason why I do not trust exoticanimalsforsale.net.
Yeah, nobody should.
No. But I'll have some more fun ones next week. There was a quick teaser with some quick maths on the show. Kieran, do you have anything else to say before we get on out of here?
No, just the only thing I'll say is the Saturday night game between Illinois and Indiana is going to be an absolutely great one. I'm so excited for it. I know I've been talking about it a bunch already, but seriously, watch this game. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. And shout out Brett Belima.
There you go.
Bye.
See ya.
They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs.
dogs.
You know that?
They were eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.